This was, of course, Vettel in his Ferrari days. He failed to add to his 4 world titles in 6 seasons with Ferrari, but he did win 14 Grand Prix. And he has this take on how Hamilton will have to adapt to life in red.
Well, I think it's obviously a big step. It's a big shift in culture. And I think right now, obviously, he's very focused on the racing side and on the car and how the car wants to be driven and how it feels and so on. Adapt. But I think adaptation is not only driving. I think it's also a lot of the things that happen around the driving whilst you're driving as well. So, I don't know, to give you examples, the steering wheel, for sure, he's adapted it to the way he likes it, but it's not the one he had. These things just take time to really adapt, and it takes capacity of your brain, which you had sort of available to you in the past because everything was sort of automatic. So it naturally takes a little bit of time. Of course, I know that he has very high ambitions and very high expectations. So at the minute, I know that he's probably not happy with himself, with his how competitive he is. So that works, that it sort of works on your mind, and he's obviously not the most successful driver by chance, but for many reasons. And he's working, I believe, very hard to fix all those things and to get back the full capacity that he needs and requires on his driving to race to a level that he's happy with. Having a regular job, and what is a regular job anyways, but aren't we all like that? We have better days and worse days. And I think it's the threat now is that people talk about what he's maybe going through and interpret it as a sign of weakness. Like, why is he doing that? What's going on with him? What's wrong with him? Nothing's wrong with him. I think everybody's going through the same things in different phases of your life. Self-doubt is the most natural thing there is, but it's the most unnatural thing to talk about, and that is wrong. So I think it is completely fine, and I think it's very courageous of him to open up and talk about that side of him. And I wish and I hope that the media picks it up and turns it a little bit around.
Lewis Hamilton's much-anticipated transition to Ferrari has been anything but smooth. But Lewis Hamilton showed glimpses of progress at the Bahrain Grand Prix. After a disheartening qualifying session that left him 6/10 adrift of teammate Charles Leclerc, and starting from P9, Hamilton bounced back on race day with a spirited drive to P5. More importantly, the race marked a turning point in his understanding of Ferrari's unique demands, both from a technical and driving perspective. Hamilton's move from Mercedes to Ferrari was one of the biggest stories of the 2025 Formula One season. But with it has come the challenge of unlearning over a decade's worth of habits and adapting to an entirely different machine. Following a difficult qualifying session in Bahrain, Hamilton openly admitted he was not doing a good enough job, echoing the downbeat assessments that often characterized his final season with Mercedes. However, Sunday told a different story. Ferrari executed a clean double-stack pit stop early on, sending both Leclerc and Hamilton into a strong middle stint on the medium tires. It was during this phase that something finally clicked for Hamilton. The middle stint, I felt really aligned with the car, he told media, including Planet F1. My driving style seemed to be working in that moment. I learned a lot today, probably more than all the other weekends combined. The key now is to try and get back to that every weekend. Hamilton acknowledged that the Ferrari still feels alien after years with McLaren and Mercedes, highlighting just how different the car philosophy and technical components are, right down to the brakes and engine braking systems. Speaking to Sky F1, he explained, "What's clear is, as humans, we get really stuck in our ways. I've been driving a certain way for so long. Now I'm using engine braking I've never used before, and I'm on Brembo brakes after 15 years on Carbon Industries. This unfamiliarity has impacted everything from setup choices to on-track confidence. Yet Hamilton remains optimistic. I've been a bit all over the place with setup, a long way from Charles the past 2 weekends, he admitted, but I've slowly migrated toward him. If I can start a weekend from a better base and apply what I've learned, we should be in a good place." As the paddock shifts to Saudi Arabia, Hamilton sits 7th in the Drivers' Championship, just 7 points behind Leclerc. For now, the Ferrari dream remains a work in progress, but Bahrain may have marked a step forward. On the other side of the Ferrari garage, Charles Leclerc also had a weekend filled with mixed emotions. Starting from the front row, Leclerc was engaged in an intense battle for Ferrari's first podium of the season, only to lose out to Lando Norris in the final laps and finish 4th. Reflecting on his race, Leclerc admitted frustration, but found positives in Ferrari's pace and newly introduced upgrades, which included a revised floor designed to close the gap to the front of the field. "It's a baby step forward," Leclerc said after the race, "but we need many baby steps before getting to where we want. This track wasn't ideal for evaluating the upgrades, so I'm confident we'll see more performance from them in the upcoming races." Leclerc questioned the two-stop strategy at times during the Grand Prix, especially given the tricky opening stint on medium tires where he lost several positions. However, a well-timed safety car on lap 32 validated Ferrari's plan and allowed Leclerc to recover valuable positions. "We went a bit longer and it started to pay off. Then the safety car re-zeroed everything. On the hard tire, we were struggling a bit. It's a shame we missed the podium, but I feel this was the best we could do today," he said. "It's disappointing when you're fighting so hard and the pace isn't enough, but I'm hopeful we'll have a car capable of delivering better results soon." He concluded by praising the team's bravery in avoiding a risky one-stop strategy. There were different strategies on the table. One was a one-stop, which would have been brave. I'm happy we didn't go that route. It would have been very tough after the safety car. The Bahrain Grand Prix offered a glimpse into the complex dynamics of Ferrari's 2025 campaign. While Charles Leclerc continues to push the limits of a developing car, Lewis Hamilton is still learning how to unlock its potential. Yet both drivers left Bahrain with reasons for cautious optimism. For Hamilton, the race may have marked a subtle but important breakthrough in comfort and confidence with the SF25. For Leclerc, it confirmed that Ferrari's upgrades are moving the team in the right direction, even if the destination remains some way off. As the season heads to Saudi Arabia, the Scuderia duo will be eager to convert these baby steps into podiums. And with Hamilton steadily finding his rhythm, the best of Ferrari in 2025 may still be to come. Ferrari introduced a brand new floor in Bahrain as it looks to take a step forward with its pace and get close to challenging for Grand Prix wins. Lewis Hamilton has signaled his satisfaction with the major upgrade package Ferrari brought to the Bahrain Grand Prix. The Italian squad ran a new floor during the opening day of practice as it looks to make inroads on the F1 competition. Although Hamilton managed to win the sprint race in China last month, Ferrari has largely struggled for form throughout the opening rounds. So far, he remains without a podium finish in the main Sunday races and has been consistently outpaced by his teammate Charles Leclerc. Sky Sports F1 pundit Martin Brundle, a former F1 driver himself, has offered a measured yet revealing perspective on Hamilton's rocky start. According to Brundle, the issue isn't Hamilton's age or a loss of talent. It's the monumental task of unlearning everything he absorbed during his 12-year tenure at Mercedes and adapting to the entirely different ecosystem at Ferrari. "Those sad interviews, we got quite used to those last year, didn't we?" Brundle remarked during a recent broadcast. "They're now just replaying out at Ferrari." Indeed, Hamilton's post-qualifying comments after a disappointing 9th place in Bahrain echoed the same subdued tone that was often present during his final Mercedes campaigns. "I'm just not doing a good enough job on my side," he told reporters, including Planet F1. "It's definitely not a good feeling for sure." When asked what he could change to improve his pace, the Briton seemed momentarily at a loss. "I really don't know. I don't have a lot of answers for you guys. I just wasn't quick today," he said candidly, later adding, "The car has improved with the upgrades. It's just my driving." This level of self-critique, especially from a driver of Hamilton's pedigree, has raised questions about whether time is finally catching up with him. But Brundle doesn't believe age is the issue. Drawing from his own experience and that of other retired drivers, he noted that while certain physical elements may diminish with age, such as vision or reaction time, Hamilton's case seems more psychological and technical than physiological. "I just still feel that age is not Lewis's problem," Brundle stated. "I really don't think he's lost any vision or any kind of driving ability. He just seems to have lost his way a little bit in getting a car how he likes it. In a field increasingly dominated by younger drivers with over 100 Grand Prix starts under their belts, Hamilton finds himself needing to reinvent his approach. Not an easy task for someone who spent over a decade fine-tuning a specific driving philosophy at Mercedes. Brundle suggested that switching teams might actually be more difficult than being a rookie. Somebody explained to me today that it's harder to relearn and move teams than it is to be a rookie and just learn in the first place, he said. I kind of buy into that. But it's a bit surprising. I thought Lewis would pick it up quicker. The adjustment goes beyond just driving style. Learning to work effectively with new engineers,